Okay, let's do this. If you're there, make sure you say hi. Let me know you're watching it live. If not, make sure you put you're watching it on repeat. I'll save it to the wall so you can see it. Some really good questions today. I'm happy with that. So I've got 4 questions I can get through. Take a little bit of time on these and make sure I give you my opinion and also a bit of a critical opinion as well. So look at it from different angles. All right, so first question, if I just scroll down here, was from Will. Will, another good question. He's on fire. Okay, so Will's question was, now I'm getting my mojo back from this excellent lifestyle reset. Thank you very much, and you are smashing it. I want to get back into sport again. My rugby days are definitely over, so how do people find a new sport past 40? Something that has a bit of competition, something that doesn't require too much running as my knees are arthritic as a retired Grand National horse. Want that buzz I got from the rugby days. Any ideas? Okay. Hey, Donna, how are you? So now this is a good thing I'm able to say this now because I don't work in a CrossFit gym. Whereas if I said this and I was still the head coach of a CrossFit gym, you would just think that I'm trying to sell you on the idea of going and buying a CrossFit gym membership. Hi, Suki. Hi, Matt. I honestly believe if you're struggling with injuries and you want that competitive feeling, that bit of friendly competition in your workout. Hi, Marianne. CrossFit is the way to go, mate. You'll pay a little bit more for a CrossFit membership versus like a regular gym, like a Fitness First or in Abu Dhabi, maybe like a Haddon's. In fact, Haddon's do like CrossFit classes as well. But you really get some value out of it. And what CrossFit's really good for. So let's break this down. So you're talking about injuries, all right? So you're going into a gym. What's great about going into a CrossFit gym is, it's very dependent on the gym because they are individually owned. So as long as it's a good affiliate, they really cater for injuries. So, if I was in there and I was the coach and someone came in and told me, and we had a workout up on the board and there was maybe a lot of squats in there and, Will, you came into me and said, listen, a lot of years playing rugby, my knees can't really handle it. Is there something else I can do? It's easy for me to find an exercise, to scale it, to change it. It's going to be very similar to what the emphasis of the workout should be, that you don't feel like a bit of a muppet that you're doing something on the side that no one else is doing. You're actually still part of the workout and you can still have that friendly competition with the people around you. You go into this community and I don't know how much you know about CrossFit, but you go in and you do like maybe a strength portion or a conditioning portion, and then you do what they would class as a WOD at the end. And that's where you're doing things as fast as you can for time. So you're doing maybe 3 rounds as fast as you can. Maybe you're doing as many rounds as you can in 12 minutes. So yo, Michael, maybe you're trying to do as many rounds as you can in that certain amount of time. Now, naturally, you have the person next to you that maybe you've never even met them before, but you're coming to class together and you notice that maybe they're lifting very similar weight to you, and they naturally just become a little bit of competition for you. So you start to push yourself and then you have a bit of banter after the class. Hi, Maria. Yo, Simon, have a bit of banter after the class and you naturally just build up this camaraderie with a partner and it's awesome. And what I really like about it, and Will, like I'm talking directly to you here because you asked the question, you'll go into this environment and you won't necessarily know anything about it and everything will be new and, it'll be hard and, you have to have a little bit of savvy to get yourself in there. But I promise you, mate, you'll go into that environment and maybe the first time you go in, there's something that, you really don't like or you're not that good at. Maybe it's you've got to go and run 800 meters or something like that and you're like, you have to modify it or change it. It's like, that's fine. But the next day you go in, you might be doing something that's, upper body, heaviest that you can, pressing overhead, or maybe start to learn a little bit of Olympic lifting or something. And you go into the environment then where you've actually got the advantage, okay? Because you might be stronger. The person next to you is light. They can run, that's their speciality. But as soon as you give them a bit of weight, they can't do it. And then what's great about CrossFit is we put them into these workouts where, one element of it might be going and lifting a heavy weight above your head 10 times. You can do that easy. The guy next to you is going to struggle. Then when you come back, when it goes to the next part of it, it's a 400 meter run. Yeah, you might slow down a little bit, but he's going to be faster. All right, so you just build up this thing and, you start to want to work on your weaknesses. Hey, Tony, how are you? You want to start working on your weaknesses and I see it a lot of times, ex-athletes coming and get into that CrossFit environment. Now, I don't want you to think that, you go in there and it's all hunky-dory. Because you get into this environment and you get into this kind of like mindset where you're really enjoying training, you're enjoying naturally just pushing yourself a little bit more because you've got a bit of friendly competition around. Injuries is something that can come up, so you need to make sure that you're in the right environment and the right mindset, that you're not going to push yourself to a limit where you're going to, start getting worse injuries and start kind of breaking down. So that's my honest opinion on that one. And I guess you could look at there must be other things like Abu Dhabi, Will, you're there. I know Haddon's do something very similar, F45 circuits. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're the same sort of thing because there's nothing measurable in there. You're just working for a set amount of time, whereas CrossFit, you're getting a measurement, how far you can go, how fast you can do it, how much weight you can lift, all these types of things. And then the other thing is that there's so much progression in there. I should just be selling you a gym CrossFit membership here, but there's so much progression in there. So let me give you an example. You go into a gym for the first time and you want to be able to do, I don't know, a pull-up. You can't do a pull-up yet. Maybe you're carrying a bit too much weight or you're just not strong enough. You start working towards, maybe you do like a ring row to begin with or a TRX row. From there, you start doing maybe toe-assisted pull-ups. You start doing pull-ups with a band. Then you get good at that. You go with a lighter band, so it's harder. Then you get to a point where you can do strict pull-ups. And then you go, all right, well, now I'm going to learn kipping pull-ups. And then you're going to learn chest-to-bar pull-ups. And you're going to learn chest-to-bar butterfly pull-ups. Then you get to a point now, and it's not over yet. So now you're like, I want to move on to the next thing now. So then you start to learn a bar muscle-up. From a bar muscle, you go, I want to learn a ring muscle-up. Next thing, you're trying to do a ring muscle-up into a handstand on the rings. So the progressions are endless. And that's one of the probably the biggest benefits I see of CrossFit. There's progression there. And, me, you, and the top CrossFit athlete in the world could walk into a gym, but there's still something that we're all trying to improve on. All right? I think I've answered that one enough. Other than that, Will, I bet there's tons of kind of like local communities, like just sports. I guess it's finding a sport that you enjoy and then just taking it easy, like in terms of your knees and rugby, you haven't really got a lot of options to keep it similar. Because if you went to touch, again, it's a lot of impact on your knees, on your ankles. So yeah, I think you just need to find that environment where you are getting something out of it and you're having to push yourself. All right. I'm going to leave that one there because I could talk about that all day. All right, where's your hat? Not an exercise question, but my calorie counts are all over the place since I'm trying to work out with both polar chest strap and an Apple Watch. It seems to me that one is impeding the other in counting calories. Has anyone had experience of using both in random? And then there's a little link there of a discussion on the Apple. I know a couple of people that do it. They wear the Apple Watch. I think Suki, who will probably watch this, uses both sometimes. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know the answer to that one. And just rely on one. If you've got the polar chest strap is going to be more accurate than the Apple Watch, because the chest strap is, you can look it up, it's a lot more accurate in terms of what it can record, because you can get a better kind of sensor there than you can on your wrist when it's moving around and that kind of stuff. So the polar is going to be more accurate. Whether that gets impeded by the Apple Watch, I don't know the theory or the physics behind how it picks up your heart rate monitor and whether anything crosses. I don't really know the answer to that one. It's good that you've gone and done a little bit of research there. Both process strap and Apple Watch. It seems to me that one is impeded. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Where's your hat? So I would just use your Apple Watch to track your daily life, because that's awesome. Your 10,000 steps and hitting your markers. And then maybe just take it off. It's probably not that comfortable because you do CrossFit, by the time you put your wrist straps on and, your grips and all that kind of stuff, it's probably not nice. I know that when I used to do it, I used to try and have to take my watch off sometimes when I was doing a lot of the Olympic lifting and pull-ups and things like that. So maybe just rely on the polar chest strap for now and then just see if that makes any difference from there. Okay. Joe asked me this a couple of weeks ago and I forgot to answer it, so apologies for that, mate. Thoughts on pre-workouts like C4, pros and cons. Okay, so pre-workout. C4 is like a brand of a pre-workout. I haven't actually tried C4. I've tried hundreds in the past though. All right, so a pre-workout is basically a supplement to give you a little bit more energy in the gym. And was on, Matt, to give you a little bit more energy in the gym and to kind of push your workouts. Is there the pros and cons? Okay, let's break it down. The pros of a pre-workout: you will feel loads of energy when you go into the gym. So if you finish work an hour before you finish, you take a pre-workout, by the time you get to the gym, you're going to be, eyes are going to be lit up, you're just going to be ready to do a workout. So your intensity of your workout could go up from taking a pre-workout. That's a pro. That's it for pros. So let's go to cons. And listen, I'm not trying to hate on it or anything. I'm just trying to be critical and give my opinion on it. So cons, depending on who you are, like I really struggle if I've ever taken pre-workouts. Now this might be different, different pre-workouts might be different, but if I've taken pre-workouts before, it just makes me need the toilet as soon as I get in the gym. So I go in there, I take a pre-workout an hour before, and then I just need, my guts feel a bit rotten, I just need to get to the toilet. So for me, I don't feel like it definitely gives you a bit of a buzz to go in there and work out, but for me, it just messes with my stomach too much. Other cons of it, there's not really too many other cons of it. What I would say is, if you're treating a pre-workout for anything more than it giving you more energy and giving you kind of a bit of a buzz to get in the gym, then there is no other pros. There's no like biological or physiological things that it's making you improve. It's just a stimulant that's getting into your brain to make you go, I'm not tired, I'm going to do a little bit more. So if it makes you do more, that's a good thing. One thing I would, some of the things you should take into consideration with pre-workouts, like if you're taking them late at night, or if you train in the evening and you're taking them, what is that doing to your sleep? What is that doing to your recovery? You might still fall asleep fairly easily, but what's going on in your brain and what's that pre-workout doing? Is it affecting your recovery the way you sleep? Because that could have a negative effect. If you can afford it, go and get it, and it works. I actually prefer for like a pre-workout, I like to I drink coffee, just black coffee. I just find that gives me a nice little buzz if I have that an hour before training. And that's something that I would drink anyway. So just trying to think anything else on pre-workouts. Yeah, like they're good if you like them. They're not essential for training though. If you feel like you need a bit of a kick to your training, then go and invest. But just take it with a pinch of salt. Not literally, but it's not the be all or end all when it comes to your workout. So for Joe, for you, like sometimes you're bashing out because you're training for an Ironman. If you've got to go and bash out a 90k cycle and you're feeling a bit, tired and you just want that little kick, then crack on and get it down. Yeah, there's no other real benefits than just giving you a stimulant. Okay. A couple more people in there joined. Suki's using a chest strap. Tony says black coffee and coconut oil. Yeah, very nice. Bit of fat in the black coffee. Will, pre-workout, Americano, agreed on the other things. Nothing worse than legging it to the toilet. Yeah, it just gets my guts every time. All right, Craig, wanting to put some size on. So Craig, he's been very, very successful on the lifestyle reset. He lost a good amount of body fat. In the beginning, he's got some really good before and afters that you might have seen. Now he's wanting to he's put size on, but I know what he wants. He wants to build some muscle, almost go through like that bulking phase. What sort of calories should I be aiming for? So let me just give you a little bit of a rough calculation. Now, this is an estimate, and it's still quite common within the fitness industry. 3,500 calories is the equivalent or equal to 1 pound of body fat. All right, so to put that into perspective, if you have your maintenance calories, and your maintenance calories is 2,000 calories a day, 7 days a week is 1,400 calories, 14,000 calories. To get yourself if you put yourself in a 3,500 calorie deficit every week, so rather than having 14,000 calories for the week, you get a pen and paper for this one, you would have 10,500 calories. Is that right? Yeah. So 10,500 calories. You would be in a 3,500 calorie deficit. That would essentially be, I'm not telling you how you do it, whether it's food or for exercise, but that would be equivalent of 1 pound of body fat. So you could hope to lose 1 pound a week if you're in a 3,500 calorie deficit. I don't want to go into too much detail on this, but just where I'm going with this. So in theory, if you went the other way around and you increased your calories each day, so that's basically taking 500 calories off a day of your maintenance. So if your maintenance is 2,000 calories a day, you have 1,500 calories a day. If you go the other way around and you want to increase your size and you want to kind of do it sensibly without eating just anything that you see, then you would potentially go 500 more calories in your maintenance. So if your maintenance calories is 2,000 calories a day, you would go for 2,500 calories a day, and that would obviously take you up to 10,000, 17,500. So you would increase just by 500 calories each day. So then you can kind of vision it. Maintenance is 2,000. If your goal is fat loss, you go 1,500 calories a day, and we're talking about consuming rather than burning. And if you're looking to build muscle, you would go 2,500. That would be sensible in terms of building muscle. You could go more than that. You could go 3,000, and that would be a little bit more of a bulk. Maybe you're under a time constraint. Maybe you're just going to do it for 4 weeks and see what you can get. But then also it comes down to, what's the type of quality that you're putting into the body in terms of the calories that are going in there. You could easily eat 2,500, 3,000 calories of just junk food. But is that going to be ultimately the best thing? It's not the end of the world if you do. Like, in terms of, you do need to kind of build, you do need to be, understand that fat and carbs and those things are the things that are actually going to make you build muscle. All right, they're important for building muscle in terms of, the whole resynthesis of cells, and carbs, proteins, fats, they're all important. It's that calorie equation that's important. But then if you can do it in almost like a cleaner way, through increasing your protein source and things like that, then you might find that it's easier to kind of manage when you get to the end. You have to weigh everything up as well. So I know that Craig's probably going to go through this stage where he's trying to build muscle, and then he'll probably go to a stage where he actually wants to cut down a little bit. So I would say, Craigie, try and go, if your maintenance levels was, yours just roughly off the top of my head was probably around about 2,200. So you're probably going to go up to about 2,700 calories food each day, and I would probably keep your macros very much the same as you did before, in terms of 30% protein and then 30 on either fat or carbs. So I hope that helps. I kind of waffled on a little bit on that last one. That's the end of the Q&A today. That was epic. I enjoyed that, and let's do the same again next week. I've also got a podcast coming out tomorrow, which is going to talk, and it's a solo one, and I'm going to talk, it's talking about the on-off switch, which I'm very, very passionate about. And so keep an eye out for that tomorrow. I'll post it in the group, and then we'll go from there. All right. Thanks, guys.